Hey guys, it's GirlGotGame, and welcome back to the letter once again. Today we are doing Only Zach Dies run. So, hi Charlotte. How's it hanging? That was terrible. I'm sorry. Monica would be proud of me. Okay. Anyway, as I was gonna say, I will skip ahead, as I usually do, until something changes for us to see, guys. Okay, so I'm in Ashton's chapter, and I've got a bunch of stuff I need to actually knock out of here. But I've never refused Bella's offer of food with Zach being dead. And because Ashton gets a call about Zach being in lockup. So I think his thoughts are about Zach, and he's like not telling her about it yet, if I remember correctly.
Thanks, but I just don't really have the appetite right now. Maybe later.
If it lets me skip, then I'm a liar.
Sup, I'm Ash from Epilogue City.
Oh.
Baggers, watch out. Can't beat me. Looking for trouble? Better not lie.
Well, I got to hear that ringtone. Before regret forces an apology up my throat, my ringtone shatters through the tense air. Just as fast, both our attention shifts towards the source. Rather than let things get any more awkward fast, I stand up and leave the room while muttering some flimsy excuse to answer the phone.
Sorry, let me just take this call. It's probably Zach or Rebecca.
Saved by the bell. Aha. Oh, actually, no, he was calling Zach. That was what I was seeing in the skipping stuff. So I had my timeline screwed up, but it worked out in the end anyway. I think this is all the same. Yeah. Okay.
Your friend was caught on right property. And you better believe I'm not happy about this. Not one bit.
Chief, you interrupted me explaining why I'm not gonna skip, but fine. I want to say that there must be some sort of misunderstanding. Zach isn't the type to do such a thing. Unless it was his plan all along. Nope. In that case, I couldn't just charge blindly into this without all the details, no matter how much I want to believe my friend's innocence. And right? Luke, right? What on earth was Zach thinking? Okay, I guess this is technically different because while Zach has been here with Bella alive, Zach was also here because he was being charged with the death of Hannah. But Hannah's alive now, so I guess technically it's different. But Chief doesn't care about my explanations. In any case, it doesn't look like Chief is happy, even if I don't protest and give him a salute. Not pleased at all if the fact that he grabs me and pulls me aside is any indication. If I were to describe his expression, he looks ready to kill me.
I swear, Frey, if you're behind this, if you told Steele to stalk the rights because you were taken off the case,
I'm not stupid enough to ignore chain of command and go against official orders. Give me some credit, Chief.
And you better be sure you didn't. Luke Wright is coming here, and we both know he's trouble. I'd consider your friend lucky if he only gets charges put against him. Maybe if we can make sure he's in a good mood, he won't escalate the situation.
So dump a glass of water on him. Got it.
Hell, maybe we'll have a bloody miracle and Steele only gets a slap on the wrist, but Lord knows it's unlikely with that man.
You know him well, Chief.
Heh. An observation, not an accusation. But it might as well be with how things panned out from the night of the housewarming party to the morning that followed. His wife's familiar with them, too. Who's to say that friendship hasn't colored the investigation into Luke Wright? I don't want to accuse my superior, but damn it, he makes it difficult.
Of course I do, shouldn't you? You've been looking into the guy for so long. I'd call you a bad detective if you can't even tell me whether he's right or left-handed.
That's an easy one. He's left-handed, but he's been taught to use his right. You can tell when he picks something up with his left hand, but when he realizes that, he moves it to the right.
Well, at least I don't have to question your ability. Anyway, if I were you, I'd either go and make myself scarce or sit down and shut up. Don't go aggravating people, basically. Because you have a knack for that at the worst of times.
I don't know what you mean. As much as I hate to say it, he's right. It's better to keep my mouth shut and not make things worse for Zach. There's not much to do now but hope for the best. They don't call for an investigation when it comes to petty felonies. Worst case scenario, he's looking at a fine worth £5,000 and 6 months in jail. Best case scenario, We get the charges bumped down to trespassing, a misdemeanor and juvenile offense, and he'll be given probation and will be charged for restitution. At this point, those seem to be the most likely outcome. I don't see how he could have been framed for breaking and entering unless he was taken into somebody's property against his will. Even in my head, that sounds unlikely.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir. I think I'm a delight to be around.
Tell that to my blood pressure pills. Anyway, let me handle him, alright?
Right on cue, the moment Chief says that, you know who arrives. And like the arrogant show-off that he is, he makes sure his arrival is well noticed by everyone within the immediate vicinity. Behind me, Isabella gasps. She has no idea how much of a trash her previous client is. Now she's going to get a frontline view of it. The guy ignores the front desk even when Benjamin tries to greet him. He just blows past him, walks in all high and mighty as if he owns the place. Meanwhile, that creepy butler of his trails behind like a tame dog on its leash. It doesn't help either that the other officers stop whatever it is they're doing and stare. Whether it's out of suspicion, curiosity, or, judging by some of their starstruck looks, awe. They should quit it, get back to work, and stop giving the man the attention he's obviously seeking.
I'm here to report a crime.
I have arrived.
Of course, why else would you be here? You're either reporting something or being put behind bars, you imbecile. I'm going to...
Ash. Calm down, Ashton. No need to rile myself up. I need to calm down. Not for him, not for myself, but for Zach. It's already difficult holding back when his face looks like it could use a good right hook. I wonder if I can skip at all from this point on. Better to just let the Chief handle him? Yep, okay. Still can't skip. Sure enough, he's the first to walk up to him, bearing a smile way too friendly for comfort. Looking at them like this makes me sick to my stomach. It's easy to know there's something up underneath the guise of keeping up appearances.
I'll be happy to assist you with that, Mr. Wright. You'll have to issue your statements as victim and witness. We'll have to determine probable cause and properly file a criminal complaint. Of course, you understand.
Oh, I understand, though I don't see why you can't file that thing yourself. The cause is obvious, isn't it? He was breaking into my home in order to pilfer my belongings.
Well, we'll still need that police report. The prosecutor will be the one to determine what charges you can legally file against the accused.
Reports and prosecutors, why should we law-abiding citizens suffer through all that? Thugs like him should be kept off the streets. I mean, it's so obvious who these people are. You can practically spot them.
Wait, hold up. Is this guy for real? Can he hear himself? He's not saying what I think he's saying, I hope.
We come here to our country, take advantage of our wealth and generosity, while we proper Brits work hard and pay our taxes. All the while they break our laws and ruin our civilized community. Trash like these should be kept contained. These uneducated...
Now, Mr. Wright. I know you're upset about what happened, but perhaps we should move to my office.
Of course. The sooner we can deal with the petty criminal, the better.
I can't believe the audacity of this guy. Did he really think himself better just because he was born rich?
I swear they should just ship these peasants back to where they came from. They're all criminals. It can't be helped. It's in their genes.
Despite myself, in spite of every restraint I've placed on me, upon hearing those words I can't help but open my mouth. Chief's warning be damned. This is my friend he's fucking shitting on. Okay, last time I was with Bella, I called him out and she poured a glass of water on him, which was amazing. Made me love her even more. I'm gonna try rushing him this time. Nobody will blame me if I ruin his pretty face, right? Not with all the shit he said. Nothing would be more satisfying than to see his smug face all battered and bruised. Nearly every fiber of my being is just itching to beat some sense and decency into him. But my frustration is apparently obvious. Before I can even take a step forward, Isabella steps in front of me. Oh, she beat everybody else to the punch. Two other officers puts a hand on my shoulder to stop me from doing something I'll probably regret. Inspector Abigail and Officer Carl.
Ash, you know you're the only one who can help Zach right now. Don't be stupid.
Oh, this is awesome! We have Bella in the picture. Yay!
Don't do it, man. Listen, we all know he's a big shot. Landing a good right hook is only going to do just that. Land a good right hook. If you want him beaten and humiliated, it's gotta be in court.
Listen to them. This isn't going to save Zach. And you won't be doing yourself any favors.
I don't know. I'd love to see Moneybags over there get wailed on by Karate Kid. My bet is on that giant with the glasses, though.
Very observant, Abigail.
Well, you're not helping. But you don't want assault charges on you, do you?
I don't, but it'd be worth it.
So worth it. Really, it's like I can't even hear myself right now. I've grown so far as a detective, but as I stand here, I'm that rookie detective, reckless in my pursuit of justice all over again. When I shouldn't be. Not if a mistake on my part might cause Zach's life. Isabella has a point.
I don't doubt it'll be satisfying, but Carl is right. Your girlfriend is right. He's not worth your badge or the trouble. Trust me.
Called Bella his girlfriend.
Ashton, please.
She didn't deny it.
Whatever, just let me go, will you? I promise I won't clobber him.
Good boy. Their hand on my shoulder stays. If anything, their grip on me tightens. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna wait till he disappears from... Oh, spoilers. Before the detective could confront him, his fellow officers stopped him. Isabella is still gonna be amazing. In the end, it's the look Isabella gives me that makes me falter when she finally steps back. They don't even let go of me. Not until I've put a good distance away between me and Scumbag. And it's awkward going on from there. The precinct is quiet, though the usual hustle and bustle of activity stayed. Everybody is making a concerted effort to shut their mouths about the whole scene. I wish they made the same effort to keep themselves from staring at me, though. They all want to talk about what just happened. But at the same time, they don't want to acknowledge that it did happen and refuse to even make eye contact with me. All of it changes in the next second, though. It doesn't even register to me until it has already occurred. Before I have the chance to leave, ready to march out the precinct, still angry and frustrated, all of a sudden, Isabella, who has been standing close to me not a second ago, grabs a half-full glass of water off one of the officers' tables and dumps the entirety of its content on Scumbag. And the expression on her? It's nothing short of seething.
You bloody...
It's been a pleasure doing business with you, sir.
Afterwards, she slams the drinking glass down on the table with a loud thud. With the whole precinct this still, the sound it creates echoes thickly along the walls, almost deafening. In the face of her temper, nobody dares move. But she doesn't give me time to relish the disbelief in Wright's face. She marches toward me soon after, and before I can even say anything, she grabs me by the wrist and drags me out of the precinct. Honestly, I've never seen something so satisfying in my life. I might as well be grinning from ear to ear if I weren't feeling so pissed at a lot of things right now. Still would have loved to sock the bastard myself. Oh well. At least your girl's got your back. Okay. I don't remember. What did I pick? I think I said I know, damn it, last time with her, so I guess I gotta hurt her feelings now.
What do you even know?
Hurtful. Harsh words fall off my mouth without my meaning to, and understandably, she gets incensed. Like I've hit a sore spot.
Oh, I know plenty. You have no idea how many times I've had to deal with an alcoholic brother who is constantly getting into trouble and ending up in jail. Don't you dare tell me I don't know anything. I've been there plenty of times. I know you wanted to sock Mr. Wright, but who's going to help Zach if they locked you up as well? I can't do anything, okay? You're the guy that knows stuff. At least think.
Got him. Well, she's right about that. All at once, regret replaces the annoyance. She blows a raspberry my way, then turns her attention back to the window, leaving no room for an argument. For some introspection? Plenty. No matter how much this pisses me off, the people around me doesn't have to be caught in it. More so taking the brunt of my temper, like Isabella has done right now. I'm lucky she didn't do the same thing she did with Wright to me and walked out after that. An apology almost forms in my lips. But then Becca calls. Though before the words even fall, my phone rings, effectively cutting through the conversation. A quick glance at the caller ID shows Rebecca's name blinking on the screen. Beside me, Isabella stares, waiting.
It's Becca. I'll tell her to meet us at Salemwell as soon as she can. Excuse me.
I guess ASAP means something different. Without another word, I slip out of the car and answer the call. However, the tone she assumes isn't what I'm hoping to hear.
Ashton, are you there?
Ragged, a bit out of breath, there's a tinge of urgency in it. Listening to her from my side of the line makes it seem like she has just run a marathon prior to this call.
Becca, where?
I got your message. What happened?
Nothing. Well, Zach's in a bit of a tight spot right now.
Define tight spot in this context, Ash.
I'll tell you about it later. There's nothing we can do about it now. Where are you, by the way?
Home, I had to make a quick visit to the library. Listen, Ash, about that thing Isabella has been talking about. There's something you guys need to...
Please tell me you didn't... Whatever. Save it for later. We'll meet you there. This is... related to that.
Is Isabella with you?
Yeah, she insisted to come with me.
With a quick press of the button, I switch on the loudspeakers and step closer to the window on Isabella's side. I hold out the phone towards her, giving it 2 shakes, urging her to speak. She's still carrying a curious look on her face. It's already bordering on worried, actually. This should ease that.
Rebecca's asking for you.
Becca? Is she okay? Hey, Becca!
Hey, Belle, what's happening over there? Is this something I should be worried about?
Becca, it's Zach! He's...
We'll tell you once we get there. It's not something we should discuss over the phone.
I don't like the sound of that, Ash. But, alright. And please, hurry.
Gotcha. Give us a few minutes.
We'll be there. She mumbles a goodbye, then hangs up. Becca's the last person I need to account for, yet that call left something strained in the air. Thankfully, we don't have to linger in it for too long. The drive back to Salemwell only takes a matter of minutes. We find her pacing in front of Isabella's room, hands clasped tightly in front of her as she treads the small space offered by the hallway. The second she looks up, Isabella clings to her.
I'm so glad you're okay. Ashton checked on you this morning, but...
He did? I'm sorry. I was in a hurry. I didn't have time to drop by and let you know.
It doesn't matter. What's important is you're here.
Not burnt to a crisp or brutally murdered somewhere. Whole. Alive. Although she seems a bit shaken, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. At least now I can relax, ease the pressure off my shoulders, if only by some. There's still that problem with Zach. But the minute Isabella pulls away from her, she winces. A small reaction. The younger woman doesn't even catch it. It sets a precedence for a careful observation, nevertheless. A closer look at her reveals her much more disheveled than usual, hair in a bit of a mess, probably flattened in a hurry. The back of her dress also shows stains of dirt in places it rarely gets into. She's also leaning more and using her left arm. She's right-handed. Perhaps the most telling is the slight limp she has, noticeable once Isabella leads us into her apartment. Zoom. It all sprouts a hatful of questions. What exactly happened, and how she ended up in that state? Pretty sure a simple trip to the library won't do that. But she never gives me a chance to bring it up. The second we're seated in the tiny living room, she gets straight to the point and asks about Zach. Typical Rebecca.
All right, no more suspense.
Okay, so I didn't even get the option.
What happened to Zachary? And I don't want the two of you to mince words. Tell everything as it is.
They arrested him, Becca.
Arrested? As in the police?
Yeah. Ashton just heard about it this morning.
Her eyes quickly zero in on me, and at the raise of her eyebrow in question, I quickly fill her in on what happened. From the moment I've gotten the news down to the very person at the root of this trouble. The very person she's been friendly with from the start. She falters the second I drop Scumbag's name, disbelief all over her features.
Are you sure it's him? This must be a mistake.
Yup, quite sure it's the bastard we saw at the precinct, in all his pompous glory.
What was Zachary even doing in the mansion? Breaking and entering? Are you kidding me? I know Zachary can look a bit intimidating at first glance, but he's not the kind of person who will do those things.
That's exactly what we told the police, but they won't listen. Apparently they caught him in the act.
Of course they won't. They're up against Wright's smug face, for fuck's sake. He's the one who has the money.
There must be something we can do to help him.
I'm still up for kicking his ass if anyone's asking.
Yeah.
Not that. Anything but that.
Oh, come on, you threw water at him. At least let me score.
Context. Phrasing and all that.
We need something that'll help Zach. If you really want to hurt something, go punch the wall or your face.
Damn, got him.
I'll talk to him.
Immediately, all the banter in the room stops and we both turn to her.
Talk to who?
Luke. I'm sure he'll see reason.
She wastes no time. Ignoring her limp, she gathers her things and stands up, ready to leave. I grab for her arm before she can walk past. Carefully, to avoid hurting her in case there really is an injury. Seems like it at first glance, but you can't be sure until after a careful examination has been made. I suspect some bruising at least, although minor internal fractures aren't out of the equation. They have a nasty way of staying hidden. But that possible injury is the least of my problems right now. Not when she's likely planning a march into the Ermengarde mansion just to talk to the guy. And I have a slew of opinions about that plan. I can't remember which of these I did last time. I'm gonna... cheatsy doodles. Ew, apparently I haven't done either of those. Well, great. Okay, I'll just have to do this off of memory. I think that we argued with Becca the last time I had this conversation with her. Oh yeah, it was because I was getting her together with Luke because Ash was going to die, and so there was no point to being friends with Ash. Haha. So, this time I will pick Don't Be Rash. That's probably a good thing to say to her.
Becca, this thing with Zach has already gone down the legal territory.
Nice.
Smugface already filed the case this morning.
Isn't that another reason to talk to him?
It'll be difficult, especially when he's so eager to get to the precinct this morning. Unless we find evidence that'll prove Zach's innocence, there's nothing we can do at the moment. Chief will kick me out of my own precinct if I keep insisting.
Becca does give it a moment of thought. She still appears like she wants to run headfirst to Anselm, though. But after a minute of silence, thankfully, she concedes.
All right, but promise me you'll get Zachary out of that place.
I will. There's no way in hell I'm leaving him in there. Besides, even if you could reason with Smugface...
Stop calling him like that. And you wonder why he won't listen.
Bella's face.
Even if you could reason with Smugface, you're not going anywhere with that limp.
Ash is like, no, I'm just doubling down. As expected, she tries to hide it. When she squirms from my grasp, it's with enough force, she almost stumbles back if the couch has not caught her fall. Even with Isabella shooting her concerned look, she's swift to shrug it off.
It's fine. I just had a little accident.
Little accident. Hard to believe when her other arm's nursing the supposedly fine arm. Isabella doesn't buy any of it either.
In a library?
No?
Well, yeah. It kinda caught me off guard.
Something's happened there, hasn't it?
I don't have to elaborate on the question further. Shortly she goes very still, and the hand placed over her right arm shifts ever so slightly, its grip on the limb tightening. Not too firm to hurt, but just enough for a gesture of comfort for herself. Warily she casts a glance at everyone in the room. But only the one she spares for Isabella lingers longer, and in that moment something unspoken passes between them. An understanding. It strikes me seconds later how utterly familiar her expression is. It's the same one I've seen far too many times in Isabella. Since that day at the movie house. Every time her attempts to warn us have been so rudely dismissed.
Let me see.
Can we? We have to check if it's bad.
Rebecca hesitates for a moment. Then, after a minute of consideration, she sighs and reaches for the hem of her sleeve, raises it just enough for Isabella to take a good look at it. Not swollen, but a large portion of her skin starting to turn an ugly shade of purple.
Oh, ouch. That bruise isn't going to look pretty.
Tell me about it. It was a library cart that hit me. You know, the old metal ones they keep near the history section.
But she's there? She went after you.
Yeah, I was in the archives, looking something up. Suddenly, she was just there. Belle, she was using my own students against me. What kind of terrible person does that? Oh, it makes my blood boil.
You should have just ran. That woman's not something you can hit with a book.
Laugh it up, Ashton. I did. Then the bloody cart came out of nowhere.
It's true.
And you know what? If it weren't for a damn book, I would be dead by now.
Very true. The meaning of death. To Ashton and Isabella's relief, Rebecca later called back. They found her at Salem Well, looking worse for wear, but upon learning of Zachary's situation, she decided to confront Luke Wright, an idea Ashton begged her to reconsider. Fortunately, before the topic turned grim, Isabella stepped in. Silence descends in the room as the gravity of that one word hits all of us. Dead. Another close call. Another would have. Another one we've narrowly avoided. How long can we keep this up? We're bound to break at one point. No normal human being with a sane mind can last like this. It's a miracle Isabella hasn't cracked yet. After all, she was the one who found that letter. I've expected her to have caved in by now, yet her voice, calm and composed in the face of this, is what cuts through the thick air.
I'll go get a cold compress for that arm. You guys take a seat first. Ashton and I, we have a lot of things to talk about.
That marks the end of it. At least for the time being. And as soon as Isabella returns and hands Rebecca the cold compress she promised, we get straight down to business. Surprisingly easy considering the rigid air in the room. Although there's some tense fumbling for words at first, the whole conversation gains steam once what we found last night at BRC has been put on the table. All at once, everything we've brushed off, carelessly ignored, and rudely dismissed have been laid out for close scrutiny. Our own encounters with the woman, Rebecca's close brushes with death every time she appears, the dread, the fear, the terror she brings out even in the bravest of us. Everything. Because no matter how bleak this all seems, there must still be a way out of this. There has to be, logic be damned. Or at least that's what Isabella and I would like to believe. Yet even as the cold morning light shifts to the warm hues of late afternoon and eventually night, none of this still makes a fucking damn sense. Darkness has fallen, but we're still nowhere near figuring things out. If anything, we're more at a loss than we've ever been before we even started this. The next thing I know, frustration rears its ugly head and the sheets of paper I've been holding smacks the table harder than I've intended. The sound of it echoes loudly in the small room, and everyone simply falls silent. Along with it is a release of another long-held breath. Perhaps the 100th since this morning.
We aren't getting anywhere at this rate.
Don't just drop it. There must be something in this we aren't seeing yet. Ash, please. Zach wouldn't want us to give up on this.
Was that Becca's voice that came out of Bella, or did I have a weird moment? It's an odd thing to hear from her, right? The very words I've been telling myself every single time I find myself facing a dead end. We can use a little of the optimism right now, I guess. Too bad Z-Man's better at it than me.
I know, but what are we supposed to be looking at here in the first place?
Well, we already looked through those files. You're the one that picked it out last night, right?
All of them? I'm pretty sure every person we've checked in there isn't necessarily involved. One client possibly died of old age. Remember, you found that dumb paper right before the open house. No one was allowed inside that place for a time that day. It's too broad of a scope if we include every single person. In fact, the only notable ones are C and Jean Marie.
But if we're going to include them in the count, shouldn't there have been more than enough people to end this fucking curse already? How does this thing even work?
Yeah, okay. They went in and out of this place. But no, you still don't get it. What I'm trying to say about those clients is...
Maybe there's something more to this.
What do you mean?
Becca makes a vague gesture at the papers she's brought, then crosses her arm and leans back on her seat to glare at it. The way she's staring at it, you'll think she wants to set the entire stack on fire.
Apparently, there was some stuff that people haven't been telling us.
You mean our own teachers have been lying to us all this time?
Hey, now don't blame us. Blame the bloody books they wrote.
Quietly, Isabella reaches for one of the papers Rebecca has brought with her and carefully inspects the words printed on the page. A copy of an old newsprint from even before the city has been founded. Her eyes narrows with each line it passes, but lingers at the illustration of the noblewoman's servant.
Why do they have to keep this in the restricted section?
Rebecca merely shrugs at her inquiry, but her own annoyance seeps through her answer.
How should I know? I wasn't even aware we have archives that go as far back as this. This is before the city was even founded. As a matter of fact, if it weren't for Andrew's help, I wouldn't have gotten my hands on any of it. Maybe they didn't think it would be important to talk about it. After all, this is more Anselm's than ours.
That or some old bugger's hiding something.
Why else would these tell a completely different story? Revising what's written seems a useless endeavor on its own when you have nothing to gain from it. Thanks to those, we're also missing a lot of things here. There's still a gap. A huge one. Even with the information we currently have right now, it still feels like there's something we're overlooking. All we have to go with is the mansion, the letter, and all the stuff selfish people have been keeping from the public. But what else? At present, everything seems to point to where this all started. The Ermengarde mansion. Will bringing the letter back there fix everything? Fuck. How do I? The mansion's a private property now, can't just waltz in there. I'd rather die before I even think of begging Wright to let me in and investigate the place. After what he did to Zach, not gonna happen. Over my dead body. One thing's very clear after these last 2 days, however. We're not safe anywhere, and I have to act fast if I want to keep my friends alive. We can't keep running away. Sooner or later, she'll get us. And damn it, I hope Zach's safe where they're keeping him. There are guards stationed at the holding cells 24/7, but you can't be sure. This is a ghost we're up against. Before anything happens, I have to put an end to this. Sighing, I stand up and stretch out the kinks in my back after several hours of sitting. We've been at this for too long. A break is needed. Time to let everything to sink in, or else we'll all burn out. I know I will, and it's another thing I cannot let happen when they're all counting on me like this. Albeit unspoken, it's in their eyes as they look up at me waiting. We've been at this since morning. We should take a break for a few. The rest of it never makes it out of my mouth as something heavy and grating sounds from the far end of the room. A harsh booming noise rending through the eardrums of everyone in the room. All at once the two of them are on their feet while I quickly palm for my gun on the table. However, before I can pull it up and remove the safety, the whole racket stops. Stillness descends in the room, and amidst the sudden hush, the three of us exchange anxious glances. So much for a break.
Ashton, that might be...
Gather everything.
No questions asked. They waste no time getting to work, piling up the documents we've been reading through. Even Isabella's unusually silent as she gathers everything in her arms. Her own movements sharp and precise, a deep furrow in her brow. There's fear, but something hardened and urgent overshadows it. But the moment doesn't last. Before we can even finish, another noise ups the tension already gripping the place. Suddenly, the lights go out, and the wardrobe at the end of the room rattles, as if something inside begs for freedom. Cautiously, eyes glued to it, I take a step forward and release the lock from my gun. I'm no trigger-happy person. I'm not even sure if this will work on a ghost. But right now, its smooth surface against my palm, with the trigger on my finger, provides the closest thing I have to relief as I approach the closet.
Ashton, what are you doing? We have everything. We should just...
Worried as they both are, they immediately stop at the slight raise of my hand. But the edge is there while they all huddle in the space between the door and the room. In case this goes south, whatever I find inside, they have enough time and space to run from their position. In 2 deep breaths, I've crossed the room and stood in front of the closet. Whatever's inside has yet to stop thrashing. Instead, it has now moved to banging at the door, louder and louder the longer I dally. Another shallow breath, a glance at my companions, a nod, something creaks. Then, in the next moment, I'm grasping at the handles and swinging the doors wide open to reveal... nothing. Right away, I part the clothes hanging on it, and still none. No ghost, no woman, not a single trace of whatever, whoever's inside. Confused, I glance back towards Rebecca and Isabella, only to see them mirroring the same expression on my face. The noise has finally stopped, but I'm quite sure it isn't my imagination. Or maybe it is, and I'm just too strung up that my head's now making things up. Whatever the case is, we need to get out of here as soon as possible. This only confirms we aren't safe anywhere. Without bothering to close it, I move back, ready to leave, adrenaline now coursing through every vein in my body. In the next second, I'm barking orders and...
We should go. You two, we need to...
I'm sent sprawling on my back as something cold catches my ankle and yanks. The resulting fall knocks the wind out of me. Pain racks my whole spine and the back of my head as it collides against floor, with force enough to dislodge my own brain from my skull. A moment lasts before stars fade from my vision, and then I sense it. Cold tendrils twisting around my ankles, the smell of vile rot assaulting my nose. Nauseating, sickening, a foul smell draining every feeling in my body. The moment her horrid laughter, still as unpleasant and vicious as the last time I've heard it, reaches my ears, my eyes snap open. Perhaps it's just an experience. Or maybe my mind's still attempting to comprehend this. Regardless, the minute my eyes land on her, the whole of my body freezes, the gun in my hand turns useless as my grip on it slackens. It's in the manner her gaze bores on me, I'll say. The look of utter hatred and malice. I've seen it loads of times. From suspects, mostly murderers, who never regretted their actions despite being caught. This is the face of someone you can no longer reason with. And I know, the moment she laughs again and starts dragging me towards her, it's already going to be the...
Ashton! Snap out of it!
No, I can't die here. Not yet. The haze fades from my mind and instinct kicks in then and there.
Everyone out! Get out! Get out of here!
With one powerful tug, I yank my foot out of her grip and scramble back to my feet, ignoring the piercing wail she fills the room with. Within the span of a second, I'm gunning for the door, grabbing the wrist of the first person my hand can reach and leading the two of them out. Into the hallway, down the flight of steps, and right inside my car. I waste no time flooring on the gas pedal the second the last person closes the door behind them, and in a short while I'm driving us out of Salem Well. I don't even entertain the thought of winding down just yet, even as the last of the woman's painful cries fade into the night. Alright, let's clear that up and we can skip a little bit. And now we get to see the love triangle fight, which is going to be just wonderful, I'm sure. Okay. Skippity skip. Not necessarily a bad end. The chatter reaches my ears first, halting my movements. Sure enough, when I glance up, I find them. Rebecca and Isabella, just as they've entered the park grounds, bags of convenience store food in hand. After last night's flight from Salem Well, we've elected to stay the night here, unsure if our own homes will still be safe. Normally, we'd all be averse to the idea of spending the night outside like this, but panic and distress has tainted that decision. It's not like any of us has gotten an ounce of sleep anyway. On the off chance one of us did, it only lasted but a second, or it's a fitful one. But looking at them right now, from afar, it's easy to mistake them for just a group of friends on a day out. Isabella's gesturing wildly with her arms as she talks. Something funny or amusing, probably, because it's soon followed by Rebecca's giggles. Their voices fill the atmosphere with light air, temporarily easing off the disheartening mood. It's easy to pretend we're not knee-deep in a life-and-death situation the way they're acting now. Easy to forget one of us is being framed for a crime he likely didn't commit. If anything, it's only their appearance that betrays that mask. Slightly disheveled, bags under their eyes, an exhausted curve in their shoulders, and dragging footsteps. But the closer they get, the more obvious these signs are to the naked eye. Rebecca passes an energy drink my way the moment the distance allows it. Isabella hands me the other bag she's holding before seating herself on the edge of the fountain. The scent of warm food immediately wafts from the bag when I open it, carried further by a passing breeze. Whatever sweet sauce they drizzled over this pork wannabe, it smells heavenly. Hell, even the sorry-looking vegetables seem appetizing. Despite myself, without even checking exactly what this is, hunger swiftly takes over every rational thought. I dig in without waiting for them to start. Both of them appear to be of the same mind, too. Soon enough, they also start with theirs. No casual talk while we fill our empty stomachs. Exhausted as we all are, food is something we can't forgo. Starvation dulls the thinking, weakens the body. If we are to survive this, we're going to have to take care of ourselves first. It's one thing Zach will likely remind me if he's here. In a matter of minutes, we're done and dumping the empty cartons on a nearby waste bin. Along with it is the shift in the mood. Back to dismal. Back to the problem at hand. The comfortable atmosphere from minutes ago was nice while it lasted. Admittedly, I've missed these kinds of moments between us. We never had the chance. Always busy on some project or work. The things we've taken for granted, now we're realizing how valuable they are. With one of us gone, stuck in a jail cell, the world has an awful sense of humor. While the one we've just had is short-lived, it's another thing I want to look forward to, if we ever free ourselves from this damn curse. I'd like to believe there's a way. For now, we have to focus back on the present. This. Dead people? The letter. The curse. It's not simple to bring these up, but necessary.
What now? Where do we go from here?
It's not a question directed at anyone in particular, but they all look to me as if my face has all the answers in the world. I used to think so, back when I was at the top of my game and I'm still sure of everything. Now there's just uncertainty sullying whatever decision I come up with. At some point, logic has simply stopped working here and we've started grasping at straws. Along with exhaustion, fatigue, and stress, we have enough kindling to get a fire burning. Here we go. The not-so-pleasant kind of fire.
Well, first, we can't just stay here. That much is obvious.
But we can't just keep running like this either, Becca. Sooner or later, she'll...
As if we have a choice. We can't even go back to our own homes because that thing might get us. No, we're safe. But dying is the last thing I want to do right now, Isabella. Not to a stupid, chain letter you were too gullible to pick up, bring with you, and show to everyone.
I didn't do it on purpose. Becca, had I known, I wouldn't have.
You two. Now's not really the time to be shouting at each other. I'm already getting a headache. So if you guys could calm down, that'd be really great.
We don't care about you, Ashton Frey.
Well, isn't that rich coming from you? Whose side are you on, Ash?
Why does anyone have to pick a side? You're a rational person, Becca. You know we can't just say it's her fault. She did warn us not to open it, and
So you did pick a side, and it wasn't mine.
That doesn't exempt her from any blame. She's still largely responsible for it.
And you're not?
I didn't say that! Do you really think I don't blame myself for this as well?
I tried to warn all of you. None of you listened. Now you're blaming me for something I kept telling you guys since day one? You're just as responsible for this as I am.
So now, you're throwing it back at us. We wouldn't even be having this problem if you're—
Cut this out, okay? This isn't the time to have some dumb argument.
If you don't want to get caught in it, then stay out of this, Ash.
Oh no, Ash. Don't stop her. Let her say it. I'm sure she has plenty more to say.
Oh yeah.
If I didn't know any better, she's already.
Already what? You want me to say it? Out loud? That I find you in this whole thing?
All right, that's enough! Both of you, stop this!
They both falter to silence at my words, and an awkward, stifling mood descends between the three of us. I do not mean to shout, to snap at them, to add to that kindling. Not in a moment when any time, anywhere she might get to one of us. We're all in the same boat, yet here we are playing the blame game. Little by little we're falling apart, caving into the pressure, to the bleak situation we're trapped in. Did that ghost mean for this to happen? To divide each off us so she can pick us off one by one right after? Who knows? Anything's possible now if her kind can exist. With the fire burning between us rising as high as it does now, I'm afraid, deathly afraid, that the possibility might come sooner than I can figure all of this out. Fuck, I still can't think straight. I can't even believe the next words coming out of my own mouth. That out of everyone, I had to be the one saying these to them. This is more their forte than mine. Keeping the peace, placating everyone, while I unintentionally aggravate people with badly chosen words. Funny how fast the tables have been turned after just one unfortunate incident. How am I even supposed to cope?
If we all want to get out of this mess in one piece, we're gonna have to cool our heads first.
Before my own temper flares, I walk away and slide back into my car. If the door slams with more force than needed, I'd like to blame it on the pent-up anger boiling up in me. I'm not even sure what or who I am angry at. The ghost? At them? Or maybe at myself for being this useless. Because despite none of them saying it, I know, goddammit, they're still counting on me. In spite of my failures, or every harsh word I've uttered, or how unbearable I can be as a friend. It's there when the tension after the argument finally breaks, and one by one they follow me and get in the car. It's in concerned glances they shoot my way when I start the engine without a word and drive off. It's in their silence, a heavy gift to their unwavering trust. Yet it's one I'm more than willing to carry, even through my own exhaustion, if only to keep them safe. In this city of 68,000 strangers, they're the only ones I have left. Okay, let's clear that up. That fight wasn't nearly as interesting as some of the other ones we've had, but I guess it's fine. I was expecting more fireworks. Especially if my assumption's correct and that the reason Zach was there yesterday morning was because of the curse. Something must have happened there for him to see the need to look into it and break inside that place. What if the couple has fallen victim to the curse? It doesn't fall outside the realm of possibility. I've been so biased, not even thinking that they might be in danger as well. Alright, can we skip again? Fuck.
Stupid, stupid, stupid. Some fucking detective I am.
Huh? Nope. So that's likely the moment when Cooper saw it. If the logic holds, I need to hurry there right away. And if there are answers anywhere, it would be there. It should be there where all of this fucking mess started. It's not only my life on the line here. There are others. What happened to us, I won't wish on anyone else, no matter how much I loathe them. Or how complicated all of this has suddenly become. The letter, the woman, the mansion. And now there are the voices lacing venom inside every crevice in my head. Murmurs that jeer, scoff, and deride whenever an opportunity presents itself.
It's because you didn't listen.
Ah.
It's all your fault. Why won't you believe me?
A reminder of what I failed to do and of who I failed. At some point they all begin to blur together, twining and coiling. Every horrid image and memory of her seeking the forefront of my mind. No matter how much I refuse to remember the fear I felt then, to push it as far back as I can, the visions come to me like a deluge. And before I know it, before I can drown, another voice pulls me out of it.
You doing good there, boy?
Hey, G. Hey, alright, I can skip again. Yay! Alright, phone call time. Let me just clear that. Alright, cleared up. Let's get the bad news out of the way. After all, the ones who'll worry or fret over how awful I might sound right now are here with me. My parents never call around this hour, so chances are it's probably just the Chief or Abigail. There's Zach, but he's in a position where contacting me is impossible. Placed in jail by some scumbag for a crime he likely didn't commit. No use pretending what I'm not. No use pretending what I'm not when it's anything but.
Inspector Frey speaking.
Good morning, sir. Sorry to bother you this early.
What is this about?
It's about your friend, you know? The guy I called you about yesterday, the one they brought in the night before. Zachary Steele.
His hesitant note does nothing to diminish the lump that has suddenly lodged itself at the base of my throat. What are the chances? What are the chances that something went wrong while I'm not looking? While I'm out here brooding, of all things?
How is he? Is he doing okay?
We actually have a problem, Detective Inspector.
Hasty assumptions aren't a usual fare in my book. That shouldn't change right now. The precinct is secure. It's supposed to be. They have guards manning the station 24/7. If anything happens, all Zach has to do is shout, and someone will be there for him. Even if it's a phantom going after him, he should be safe there. He should have been. Yet none of these reassurances will allay my suspicions, and whatever little thread of hope I'm hanging on to frays slowly as each second of silence passes by. An expectation so weak, faint, I might as well just let it go and prepare myself for the worst. It's a feeble attempt at optimism I will never get used to. This is out of my depth. This isn't my forte. Zach's maybe. Rebecca's too. Never mine. Hell, this is the kind of mood Isabella has always unknowingly brought with her. What her eyes often conveyed, what I've often found myself searching in her whenever I look to them. But no matter how many times I repeat any words of comfort or calming images inside my head, the hollow chill at the base of my stomach refuses to ease. Even my voice shakes when I urge Officer Renz to speak again, weak and unsteady. The only thing keeping me from stumbling when I abruptly stand is the counter's solid support beside me, the flat of my hand braced against it for leverage.
Officer Renz. Renz, right? What happened? You're supposed to keep an eye on him, yeah? It's protocol.
Your friend, sir, he's... I think it'd be better if you just saw it yourself, sir. This isn't something you should be hearing over the phone. Chief Inspector Lee wants you to report in as well. It's about the case Luke Wright filed yesterday, and...
The rest never registers. Rather, my brain refuses to acknowledge any of it. Not even the possibility that this might just be a terrible joke. All I can think of is the suffocating dread and the piercing noise, white and deafening, ringing in my ears despite the bar's morning hush. There is only Zach. Only the whole expanse of Luxburn separating me from the one person I still believe safe from this whole fucked up situation we found ourselves in. Along with the voices. Vile ones. Whispers that taunt, jeer, and mock. Each vague utterance growing relentless as I make my way out of the bar without another word to G and slide back into my car. Driving off with my body on autopilot, mind in a daze and afraid. Utterly afraid. That, this time, I have permanently lost someone in my life. Unfortunately, that is the case. Let's see. Something had gone wrong at the mere mention of Zachary, and he hurried to the precinct. Okay, so we can skip through the gore, at least. Poor Zachary. The thought of telling Rebecca and Isabella about this, it will both upset them. I don't even want to imagine what his grandparents will say. they're good, kind, warm-hearted people who's given me another family even without me asking for it. Okay, good. I can skip through that too. And I guess the girls are probably arguing again. With the kind of danger we're in, and after what happened to Zach, this swiftly puts me on the edge, even before I can fully process and analyze the scene in front of me.
Something wrong, G?
Why did you think Ash stopped me yesterday?
But we don't have any other choice, Becca! There's really no other way! We have to go there! If you'll just...
This face. I can't speak for Isabella. I rarely ever see her seething, but from what I've seen yesterday, I don't think I ever want to be at the messy end of it. Might get water on you. Okay, so this time I'm going to take Bella's side, because I'm going to pick a different option with her.
Okay.
Okay, good. And we're just gonna... Harsh words had already been said. Harsh words. Because we've chatted to her here when Zach has been dead before, and we were like, I can't let you do that. And we held hands, and it was very romantic and sweet. But this time I'm gonna do It's Dangerous, because I think Zach will Ashton will probably bring in the fact that Zach's dead now, so it's very dangerous.
Forget it, Belle. You're not going back to that mansion.
Can I skip or no?
I don't even have to bring up what they did to Zach. In fact, what they'll do to you is the least of our problems.
I was right.
What if you see her again? What if she goes after you? What are you going to do?
It's not like we have any other choice. Besides, I'm pretty sure you've already thought of the same thing. Admit it.
That doesn't mean I'm going to let you run straight into trouble. What you're planning to do is risky. For you. Give it up, Isabella. Zach's already gone! And if you...
What did you say? Realization comes way too late, and my throat closes up as soon as I realize what has just slipped out of my mouth. There was supposed to be a speech, damn it! Words carefully picked to ease people into the idea, especially her, who has always seen Zach as that decent older brother she never had, as family. Oh, Ashton Frey. Why? The way her expression shifts from terror to disbelief, then to anguish, makes the horrible lump in my throat feel more unpleasant. There's a sorrow in it, palpable enough as the meaning of what I said sinks in. A pain I can't even hope to understand. One that we'll all deal with in our own ways. I can't even bring myself to look her straight in the eye. Unexpectedly, Isabella merely clams up. No resistance, no further argument like I've come to expect from her. She doesn't even shed a single tear. Uncharacteristic. Just a silence that stretches far too thin, till the air in the whole room grows awkward and suffocating. A standstill that'll get us nowhere. Although, there's one thing our talk has wonderfully succeeded at, it's making me feel like a total asshole and a hypocrite. Good. And I am, considering my plans tonight. Sure, I can tell her, but what good would it do? I do intend to tell G before leaving tonight. He has to know if he's going to be keeping an eye on them for me. One person is already enough, however. Hell, simply letting someone in on the plan makes me iffy. Broadening that circle and revealing too much would just cause another pointless concern. But someone has to be aware, at least of where I'm heading off to, in case I die. But I've already said enough! I stand up as soon as footsteps shuffle from the next room, its cadence slow and hesitant. Shortly, Rebecca comes into view, clutching her hands firmly in front of her and sporting the same uncertainty in her face. She casts me a cursory look, then shifts a nervous one to Isabella, who studies her with an almost hopeful gleam in her eye. Their fights never did last long.
Belle, can we talk? Alone?
Yes, you can. I'm happy to help. Okay. No smooches with Becca, which is expected. So we should have a fairly good portion here that we can skip. At least until we...
And what about his wife?
Meet everybody in the kitchen? Hello? What about his wife? Why did that stop there? What about his wife? What does that mean? Okay, so Becca let him go. It strikes a chord. She falters, grows quiet as the tension lifts from her and her shoulders slump. I do understand her issues with this. In fact, she doesn't have to go with me, only tell me enough info so I can figure it out on my own. She can always leave afterwards, be done with this whole damn mansion and letter. The other end of this tunnel leads right into the forest. It'll provide ample cover for her to be able to slip out of the property unnoticed. All the same, she steels herself and squares her shoulders.
Just until the kitchens.
That's more than enough.
She nods. For Hana! Interesting. I wonder why that changed. It's not like...
We could tell my friends what might have happened here. They're at the crawl.
Very interesting. I don't know why things are stopping, but I'll take my notes, I guess.
You know the place, right?
I trail off, letting the meaning of my words hang in the air. Okay. Should be good. Of course, I'm being optimistic and hoping that nodes are being ticked off and not just stopping
Tell me,
randomly.
What did you do with the madam?
I did nothing, sir. I have no idea what he's talking about. Did something happen to Hana Wright?
Let go, you asshole.
Now, Dummkopf, you're in no position to be rude. Last time I checked, I'm not the one breaking into other people's homes. Now answer my question. What did you do with the madam?
Skip? Yeah. Okay. Weird. I feel like we've had this conversation, right, Lackey? Okay. No smooches from Bella. Ashton Frey is going solo again. He lost his one true love, Zachary. In one corner, Rebecca watches almost as surprised to see us. McCullough's also with her. Of course she didn't listen to me, even if I've already exceeded the 15 minutes we've agreed on. Although, color and strength seems to have already returned to her, enough for her to be able to stand unassisted. The empty plate on the counter appears to have played a part on that. Good news, I guess. As for the other one, however, relieved as I am that she has had the sense to wait and not venture deeper into the mansion, I can't keep but roll my eyes at her, although she preempts me with a reprimand of her own.
Did you really think you could hide this from us?
I had to, Becca.
You know, if Isabella hadn't asked G and that old guy didn't slip, none of us would even have any idea.
Poor G, that old guy.
So the first thing the two of you did is go straight here?
Of course not, but Isabella insisted.
And it didn't even occur to you to stop her?
I tried, all right. She was out the door before I could say anything.
And how did you guys even get in here?
Both of them exchange a look, one that I absolutely don't like. In the end, it's Isabella who speaks up, albeit with a bit of hesitation.
We heard someone scream, Ash. It led us here.
Without warning, the door behind us slams shut.
We need to get out of here.
Screw right. I need to get these people out of here. Lucky we're in the kitchen and we have two ways out, the back door and the cellar offers. Except the hatch won't budge when I pull at it, and neither does the back door, as if something has locked it firmly on the other side. Rebecca also gives it a few tries, but even with help from Isabella, it won't open. There's a long bout of silence in which we all simply look at each other, likely sharing the same thoughts. We're trapped. Something or someone has intentionally led us here. Fuck. In that same moment, once realization dawns in, something shifts again. Blood shifts again. Alright, so the mansion's changing. Should be able to skip this portion at the very least. Thank goodness. Okay. Isabella helps McCullough first. The size difference on that, though. Hold on a second. 5'2" lady helping a 5'11". That, whew, that is 9 inches. I guess that would be like me trying to help my husband climb over a whole bunch of chairs. It could happen. Assisting her up and through the gap before giving a hand to Rebecca. The moment the ladies are in, I nod for her to go through.
Go ahead. I'll watch your back.
Surprisingly, she does that without any protests. So she took Zach's role in this. That's interesting. Not that there's any need to. Sometime after entering this room, the whole place has calmed down. No wails. No nothing. For all I know, this may just be a calm before another storm. Without further incident, however, Isabella makes it to the other side, and I'm following after her. However odd this hush is, I turn my back from it and climb up. It's a tight fit, but I manage to squeeze myself in. The unease remains, though. Maybe it's the adrenaline. Maybe it's my instinct. Maybe it's Maybelline. Just ladies. It's sight enough to lodge a painful thorn up my throat. I've been too complacent, too focused on other things that I've completely set aside the fact the scumbag will not be too pleased to see us here without knowing our reasons. But even with those good intentions, curses, and ghostly apparitions aside, we're still trespassing in his home. The question is if he's even aware that the whole of his household has somehow disappeared and he might be the only one here. Likely not. Fuck. Even with people he knows among the crowd, there's a significant effort in him not to simply shoot everyone in sight.
And really, Daisy, even you, what would Kylie say?
Luke, this isn't what you're thinking. You have to listen to us. There's something going on here.
Well, obviously, why else would people be trespassing in my home? What about little Lily over there, then? What's your excuse? Checking back if your clients are doing okay? Is that it? Is this what this is? Oh, we're doing good, by the way.
Sir, please.
Oh, please what?
We need to get out of this place. You need to leave.
Not a good enough excuse, darling. You people are the ones who need to get out of my sight. Don't worry, I might consider pressing lighter charges for the woman.
Can't say the same for Feathers here, though.
But really now, I swear, people need to stop breaking into my house! This is how you want to start the week. Why don't we just go with a bloody massacre if we want to surprise people in their homes, huh?
Casually, he waves the handgun at them as if it's just a mere toy and his words are no threat. The safety's off on his. Nothing stopping him from pushing through with his words. Call me paranoid, but at the slight gesture I draw my own and level it at him, finger on the trigger and ready to release the safety catch in case things go south. Alright. Let's just clear that, and we should be able to skip this interaction at least. There we go. Boop. And I'm gonna beg so that I stay alive.
This is the third time this week, and I'm really getting weary of this little game. Did the NCA send you to apprehend me, or has somebody paid you off to kill me? Which one is it, Feathers? Mind you, my arm's getting tired. Better answer quick if you don't want to beat the business end of this gun.
Okay. Alright, hey, we're in Luke's chapter now. Grand. Okay, we just gotta get all caught up.
If Marianne has anything to do with this, I swear, I told her she shouldn't mess with me. I'll bite her hand.
Why am I what have I done? I would like to know what I have done that has facilitated these things being pinged, but I'll take it.
Hannah must be so tired. I'm a brat, aren't I? She said as such. I don't want Hannah to leave me, Joe.
Stop biting people's hands. I guess. You weirdo. I don't want to bite her hand. Okay. Sure, why not? It's nothing? Okay, so he went to go get some drinks after seeing Zach. And gotta clear whatever this is off. Oh, it was this. Drinking. He dedicated the rest of his day to getting hammered. It's nothing. Everything leads to nothing. Except for this pounding headache, as if my mind will burst at any time and leak out of my ears. My vision swims in and out of view. My stomach threatens rebellion, with plans of making me throw up what remains of the food I've taken in last night. With how my mouth feels, you'll assume it's filled with cotton. One would think that the fact that I'm hungover would make me the grumpiest person in the room. But as soon as Shrokin knocks and enters the room, the thought goes right out the window, and I can only follow when he gestures towards the hallway. Okay, this I understand. Because last time, he was bringing breakfast to Hannah when we found out about Zach breaking in. This time he's in the study. I have questions. Shrokin. Many questions. Okay, apparently he can see why Hana took an interest in him. Oh? Do elaborate for me, good sir. I'm curious. Come Sunday morning, Luke woke up with a huge hangover. His headache was further aggravated when his butler called his attention to a problem in the foyer. I can see why Hana took an interest in him.
I was talking with Zachary, the photographer for luxury living.
Hana is nice, but that doesn't mean she befriended every John and Jane from the street.
He was a perfect gentleman, Luke. I can't say the same for you as of recent.
Ooh. Look at the man you called a perfect gentleman now, dearest.
Look, Luke. Nothing will happen. You have to relax. It was just a friendly chat.
They did dance with the fireflies, by the way, in the choices I picked. A friend who takes advantage of someone who has shown them kindness. Truly, such soft hearts could not survive in this world for long. Hana is only so lucky that I am here for her. Who better to protect her from monsters than the worst of them all? And, as it always does when I'm in such a situation, the power I wield hits me like an unnatural high. Alright, interesting. You need a monster to fight a monster, I guess. Alright, so we're gonna skip ahead. Let's see what's happening now. Hana's up. I will give you these flowers, Hana, because it'll maybe soften the blow. That you and Zach are not exactly gonna be getting together anytime soon. Okay, there we go. Skip. I am curious to see if Hana has any reaction to Zach being dead. I don't know if she'll hear the news at all. I forgot about the eyes. I always forget about those eyes being wrapped up for me. No, thank you very much. Okay, so that's our only memory fragment. Gonna be put to bed. And then we'll wake up in time to run into all our friends in the foyer. Then we'll catch up to where we were. Good, good. Let's clear all of this. I don't want to look at those eyes. Thank you very much. Okay, good. And there we go. Perfect. And from where I stand at the top of the stairs, I can easily make out their forms. Recognize them even. It's all gone crazy when these intruders come into my house. I'm no stranger to a cop playing dirty. The smart ones knew that neither life nor criminals are going to play fair. But Lily, the estate agent? She doesn't seem the sort. And Daisy, too? What will Kylie think of her Miss Pink if the poor tyke finds out about this? Not to mention Mint. Hana trusted her. I trusted her to be a professional at the very least, for fuck's sake.
Well, well, what have we here? If I were any less sober, I'd say this is the beginning of a joke.
Bloody trespassers, what is wrong with these people? Did they really think I'll be fine with them walking into my home like this? What are they even doing in here? If I didn't know any better, they might also be behind Hana's disappearance.
That's right, my love.
They must have a motive.
Make them pay.
And it better be a good one.
For all the wrong they've done to us.
Or a bullet to the head is the least all of them will deserve. I don't make a habit of harming women, of course, but this is just crossing the line.
Let's see. A high school teacher, a real estate agent, and an interior designer walk into a mansion.
Boom. Thunder crackles once again, cutting me off. This time its sound hit close enough that it nearly feels as the windows and the ground itself are rumbling. All is deathly still for a moment. I don't let it stop me, however, as I slowly make my way towards them, taking one careful step at a time, relishing the expression of fear in their eyes. I suppose there's something ominous in this setting, with the heavy rain outside and the lack of light here. I kinda like it, to be honest. Add something to the atmosphere. I suppose I must look like the villain now. Okay, can I skip any of this? Nope, because Ash. The detective from a few days ago, the one Lee mentioned. Just as he's about to jump down from furniture that has somehow ended up piled and blocking the door to the parlor. What happened there? Did he really think it's alright to do that in other people's house? Lout.
Teach him, my lord. Put him in his place.
My hand's already moving before any rationale can stop me. Fingers firm at my gun when I finally release the safety from it and take aim. Not at him, but at his friends. They are his, aren't they? Why else would they be here together? Doesn't matter. I know his kind follows some form of moral standard. He won't let an innocent be harmed, especially people he cares about. My finger on the trigger is more than itching to shoot, but I hold back. Sure, I could have simply taken aim at him. But more than seeing him bleed, I want to see the expression on his face once he realizes everything he's doing is futile. He's trapped. Lives are in my hand. His life's in my hand.
Had I known there would be a party in my own home tonight, I would have opened a bloody bottle or two. People these days, in my own home. Can you believe it? I feel so left out.
I can tell the exact moment the realization dawns on him. A short second of his body freezing and blood draining from his face as soon as his feet hits the floor and he looks up. He's already a prey, trapped by his own recklessness.
Pathetic.
And really, Daisy, even you, what would Kylie say?
Luke, this isn't what you're thinking. You have to listen to us. There's something going on here.
Well, obviously. Why else would people be trespassing in my home? What about little Lily over there, then? What's your excuse? Checking back if your clients are doing okay? Is that it? Is this what this is?
Oh, we're doing good, by the way.
Sir, please.
Oh, please what?
We need to get out of this place. You need to leave.
Not a good enough excuse, darling. You people are the ones who need to get out of my sight. Don't worry. I might consider pressing lighter charges for the woman. Can't say the same for Feathers here, though. But really now.
I swear, people need to stop breaking into my house!
This is how you want to start the week. Why don't we just go with a bloody massacre if we want to surprise people in their homes, huh?
It's just a passing remark, of course. I'm not stupid enough to do something that'll bring negative attention to myself. Reputation and all that. I can't just risk it. The thought of having dead bodies here? Ones that I'm not even responsible for? They're the ones who trespassed. It's already quite too much. It'll literally be overkill, especially for someone like me. Nevertheless, joke or not, Feathers wastes no time drawing his own gun at the slight wave of my own, even if he knows it's already too late. Alright. Can skip some of this.
This is the third time this week, and I'm really getting weary of this little game. Did the NCA send you to apprehend me? Or has somebody paid you off to kill me?
He's a trained officer, isn't he? But not many bother to be as cautious as him. One glimpse at my handgun safety earlier is all it took for him to see I mean business. Similar. Too similar. We're too alike. Nah. Ah, okay. What do I want to do with you, Hana? I'm gonna keep quiet this time. Sorry, dear. I'm a coward. It's a slow thing. A whisper, more than a bang, as the darkness creeps into every corner of the room. I really thought Marianne would speak up for her, considering we had that moment where she was like, what about his wife, huh? Don't you care about his wife at all? How are we with Marianne and Hana? I mean, like, not full, but it's like pretty good. I don't know. The walls shudder and groan. Blood runs from the ceiling, crawls down the walls and stains the floor. There's a very obvious space where Zack should be. It feels as if life itself is being sucked from the house slowly but surely. The beauty of the place is gone, with only the dead, decaying remains of a mansion left in its wake. I don't have to wonder if it is just the foyer that's become this nightmarish place. I can already hear it. Gone are the growling of thunder and the lashings of rain and wind against the foyer's high windows. All of it has been replaced by a more grating sound. A cacophony of voices from nowhere and everywhere echoing throughout the now horrid walls. Voice that neither belongs to us nor the people who live here.
What's going on?
All All throughout the house, shouts of alarm and surprise ring out, a mirror to the horror creeping up in each of us. Who wouldn't be shocked? This is insane. Even Daisy, feisty woman that she is, trembles at the sight of it, clinging desperately to Lily while Feather stands protectively in front of the two. Brave of him, I have to admit, to put himself in the front line like that. Though it doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't feel the same fear as the rest of us. Something I don't blame him for. There seems to be no end in sight to this insanity. If anything, this only feels like it's the beginning of the end.
Help me! Oh my god! Please, somebody! Anybody! Who are you? Stay away!
No, no, no! Stay away! Stay away!
No! She's here! You've got to let me out! She's gonna kill me! Someone!
Their screams fill the mansion. She laughs all the while, a harsh, agonizing sound that goes on for what feels like forever. Nope. Not this time. Calling, beckoning, pleading. I'm terrified. I really am, like I should be, but I have never been one to truly stay afraid. I've long learned that fear will not get me anywhere. Cowering in a corner doesn't keep me safe, and it will not keep me alive. Not like rage does. I've learned to use this burning hate inside of me to survive. There's no difference now.
Stay away from me!
Why do you wish to leave? This is where you belong, my lord. Remember the blood we share? This is your home. Don't you remember? You promised to return, to stay, together with me, with us, with people no different from you.
What is she talking about, Luke? What does she mean?
Don't listen to her, she lies. I promised no such thing to anyone. Hannah, you're the one who bought this house. How should I know what she's babbling about? I never even wanted to be here in the first place.
A terrible case of mistaken identity. That must be it. I'm quite sure of it. I don't know this woman, this monster. Why would I say that to someone like her? In my entire lifetime, I've only made and kept sincere promises to a mere two people, Hannah Evans and Eleanor Chandler. No one else. The rest of those who claim I promise anything to them can go fuck themselves. Bloody hell, I may enjoy the company of women, but I am not an idiot to start spouting such nonsense to anyone. A line must be drawn, especially if I am to keep myself alive. Yet she still goes on, insists, making me appear a liar in front of these people.
Of course you still deny it. Have you truly forgotten? You haven't changed, I see. Still a deceiver.
She's lying!
You see, my love, nothing has changed. Still no difference, you and I. Just like the rest of us. Just like every single soul in this putrid wreck. We've waited for so long. You can hear them, yes? Their pleas, their calls, their invitation. Come, my lord. The house seeks its master.
She, the monster, reaches out again, her hands a gory, abhorrent sight, along with that smile spread across her face. My body's already moving on instinct. Stumbling back, one step at a time in a desperate bid to be away from her. Anything to put distance between me and this vile creature. No matter what she says, I am nothing like her. I need to get out of this house. Out of this country, preferably. There's nothing for me here. Not anymore. Nothing to keep tied to this place. With Hannah planning to leave me, Shrokin likely taken by this woman, nothing's left to bind me to this wretched city. I can leave. I can...
Careful, Luke!
My foot steps on something, sending me sliding on my back and flat on the floor. Beside me, a paper, familiar one, flutters down. It's this thing again from the open house, though it feels less like a gimmick and more like a threat, what with recent events. It must have fallen from one of these peasants in the commotion earlier. For a moment they appear conflicted to see it in my hands, but wisely keeps their opinions to themselves, leaving the damn thing to simply bear its grisly message for everyone in the room to see. Help me, help me, help me. Is this it? What they've been telling us? Why everything in my life has gone to shite? Because of some stupid old letter? An invitation indeed. One I am not willing to accept. Not any time. From the top of the stairs, the creature moves again, drawing my attention back to her. Her gait remains slow and awkward as she walks forward, that smile never leaving her. But I don't. I won't give her the chance. I am not dying here. I certainly am not giving myself to a hideous creature like her either. Adrenaline kicks in, and despite panic gasps and worried glances from Daisy's friends, I pay them no mind as I reach for the main door and... without warning, it slams open, revealing not the mansion grounds like I am expecting. Before my mind can even comprehend what's happening, black tendrils have already coiled tightly around my limbs, dragging every person in the foyer into the room. None of us even get to scream when darkness completely envelops us upon the doors closing.
Understand where your place is now, my love. You belong here. Is it so difficult to grasp? We've been waiting.
Okay, I don't know if I'll be able to skip. Nope. There's a moment of panic when the feeling of the tendrils around my limbs finally dissipates. As soon as my eyes adjust to the darkness of the room and I'm on my feet, I'm reaching for my knife and holding it out, watching, waiting for every movement. Using it as a way to put distance between me and these peasants. Who knows what they'll do now? We're all desperate to get out of this house. There's only 6 of us in this room. 3 of them, friends at that. I cannot trust these people not to turn on me. I mean, you're pretty evenly matched here, I'd say. There's 3 of them and 3 of you. You know, I know Mint's not in the greatest condition, but... bloody hell, even Hana's giving me the same looks as them now. Though Mint has already gone loon, crouched in a corner and muttering to herself, you can't really say anyone's safe from her. If anything, she's the one I should watch out for. I cannot trust anyone. Not anymore. Not after this. Despite the pleading looks Lily shoots my way while they all huddle in the corner behind Feathers. But I have to remind myself that even people like her are capable of doing the unpleasant. She's only human, after all. It's never an excuse. Why, even Hana has her cunning, manipulative moments, though she does it much subtler than I. Why else would Lily show this letter to us that day if not to save herself? I guess that backfired on her now that she and her friends are also stuck here. Still, I have every right to be livid. Everything. Everything that I've built has fallen apart. All because these people came into our lives.
You! All of you! This is all your fault! If I've died to this bloody case, I'm taking you all down with me!
Luke, please put that knife away. This isn't going to solve anything.
Calm down, Wright. The situation's already bad. You're just making it worse.
You shut your mouth! If it weren't for you, or this letter, for all of you, none of this would have happened!
Is your life all that matters to you?
Ouch.
What about these people here? Don't they have the same problem? What about me, Luke? Do you even care?
Are you taking their side? You're also stuck in this nightmare, Hana! That creature is out to get us, and you're still defending these people!
I'm not defending anyone, Luke. I'm just trying to be reasonable when you're clearly not.
Oh, of course you're not. You're just the one who bought this bloody mansion to begin with. If I didn't know any better, you did this on purpose!
Why, no. Why would I ever do that? This was only meant to be an anniversary gift. For you. For us. For the family we're going to have.
Right, anniversary gift. Oh, here's your gift, darling. Oh, by the way, there's a curse included in that package. I hope that's all right. Are you really that eager to get rid of me, Hana? Because if that's what you've been meaning to do all this time, you might as well just put a knife in my back while I'm...
No, that's your job. Suddenly, Hana steps up and slaps the knife away from my hand. Said knife slides uselessly under the table out of my reach. Didn't punch you? Oh no, there it is. Before my mind registers what's happening, a sharp blow explodes in the side of my head, sending me reeling backwards. Nice, that's my girl. My voice broke on "that's my girl," there we go. She merely stands before me afterwards, without even batting an eye, glaring at me as if she might just rip my head off in this instant. Sometimes I forget.
Don't you dare, Luke. Don't you dare imply I've ever thought of you that way.
That Hana is never the weak woman I believed her to be. How did I come to think of her as such? She used to be someone I can look up to, isn't she? When you look at her now, the way she stands tall facing a man like me, the same way she has done so all those years ago, I can't help but think, am I not responsible for taking that part of herself away from her? Enjoy your time as Mrs. Luke Wright. What a bunch of shite. Figures why she wants to leave me.
And these people are only trying to help us.
Oh, of course, by barging into our home. Are you really going to trust them to save your life? These peasants who brought this pox upon us.
Keep talking about us like that, and see if any of us here will keep you out of this place.
The pox.
Rebecca, stop! All of you, stop this!
To hear Lily speak out loud, I can't say I'm not surprised. She has always given me the impression of someone so meek from the moment I've met her, either from her inexperience or her station in life. She has never struck me as someone fitting to be a real estate agent. Until now. Quietly, she puts herself between me and Daisy, cutting whatever scathing words we've yet to hurl at the other. The way she glares at me, it reminds me a little of the way my own mum would look at me. Particularly when I've done something wrong. And it's not a stare she's unused to showing. She has done this before, probably to a younger sibling. Huh. If she only sees us now as a pair of squabbling kids and not two mature adults, well, that's only to be expected. No doubt that's how she sees us. For a long moment, there's only silence in the room. Feathers, for all his guts, doesn't even dare break it, merely watching us. Where did all his bravado go now, huh? Not that it matters when Lily starts speaking again after some of the anger and tension is lifted from the room.
Stop this, please! With or without that damn piece of paper,
A deep breath. An exhale. And then she closes her eyes, a crease forming between her eyebrows while she grips her hand tightly in front of her.
We still would have ended up in this mess.
The atmosphere that descends into the room right after that admission is anything but pleasant. Can I call it that? An admission? It seems like it from the way her eyes nervously flick between her friends and I. She appears to know more than she lets on, and how she makes herself appear smaller after dropping that bomb on us doesn't sit quite well with me. And patience is something I don't have the luxury of having right now and bestowing upon other people. What else does this girl know? What else is she not telling us? Because from the looks of this, even her friends has no idea what she's talking about. Unwilling to wait, I grab her arm before she retreats without explanation, waving the letter still in my hand in front of her.
Ow! Sir, you're hurting me!
Hey, hands off her, right?
Fuck off, Feathers. I have questions for your friend, and she better have the answers.
Luke, will you stop taking it out on every single person?
Your friend is hiding something, Daisy.
She struggles for a moment, but my hold eventually forces her to look up at me. Fear and uncertainty spreads across her features, especially when her eyes land on the damned paper. As much as I want to be considerate right now, I want answers.
What do you mean, Lily?
I'm not sure about it.
Don't give me that, you know something!
Ow! Please, sir. I know the paper's useless, okay?
At the mention of the letter, all of a sudden Mint stands. I've almost forgotten she's here, her ramblings having faded away in the shouting. Without warning, she snatches the paper out of my hand. It's a miracle it didn't rip right there and there, but the way she glares at it, I think she may want to do exactly that.
We should have gotten rid of this thing! We should have burned it at the first opportunity we got!
No, even if we rip it to shreds, it won't do anything. I think...
You don't know what I've seen, Santos. There were children! Victims! All because they had no idea what this thing will do to them! Oh God, those poor souls! They were screaming and begging before she...
Then what about those people they mentioned in the news lately? All those who died? My coworkers? The open house clients? None of them had seen it. Even Rose. And yet they're all dead. I should know. That letter has been with me since I picked it up. And I swear I didn't make copies of this thing. Even if I wanted to save myself, I wouldn't do that to my friends. Or anyone.
Is that what the trip to BRC was for?
Yes, I'm sorry. I couldn't tell you guys until I was certain. None of you believed me the first time. I had to find proof.
And yet we're all here! Are you taking me for a fool, Lily?
I have to go with whiskey on this. Who knows how many has already seen this before you found it? This cursed thing has to go!
We would have ended up here either way. Maybe? I really don't know. Sir, please. All I know is that paper isn't the reason why all of this is happening. There's something else. Maybe it's this place that's the problem. Maybe it's this we should be getting rid of.
Cause Zach isn't here to say this place.
What? You mean, like, burn this place down.
I still think we should get rid of this letter before we start thinking of destroying a place with some historical value.
What? No! We are not burning a multi-million-pound mansion, you peasants! I just spent a fortune on this!
Seriously, Luke, are you really more worried about that?
Buttercup, mansion, millions. It's gonna take years getting all that money back.
I freaking love Luke.
Well, you certainly won't be getting any of that money if you're dead.
Oh!
Really, Luke? Is that more important than your life?
Bloody fucking hell! Not only do I have trespassers on my property, but they're also arsonists!
How dare they suggest something like that? Bloody peasants! My head's already aching just listening to them. To think this is all the solution they can come up with, I should have just stabbed all of them and made a run for it. It doesn't help that with each second we spend talking here, the crazier this whole place gets. Alright. Do I get a choice? Or is Luke just like, I'm only burning a letter, alright? That's it. The voices have become louder and somehow sounding more vicious. If the things in this room start floating, mark my words, I will fucking flip out. And they may not be thinking of it right now, but eventually, they'll turn on me. Such is the nature of humans. Better find a way out of this place as soon as possible if I want to stay alive. Fuck, I still have so much to do. None of our choices seem sound, but who knows? We don't understand a shite about this place. Might as well try everything, yeah? Whatever works. If I also have to be the one to make that bloody decision, so be it. Less room for errors with the only sane one doing the thinking. On the off chance I'm wrong, well, they suggested it. Ah, I get a choice. That means a couple more notes for me. Huzzah. I'm gonna burn the mansion first. I will regret this. But with these cries growing louder, this has become the easiest decision I have ever made. I'm getting tired of hearing her sobbing, really. It's just irritating. Isn't she getting tired of it? Besides, someone has to act fast, think fast. And what else is the root cause of our problems but this place where the letter was found? No need to make things more complicated. It started here, why won't it end here? If what Lily has said is true, then there's all the more reason to destroy it. Put an end to this madness before someone thinks of putting this blasted place up in the market. When I get out of this place, I swear I'm suing a bunch of people. Run that estate company to the ground if need be. We spent millions, damn it! Millions! With a sigh and perhaps a heavy heart, I open one of the drawers in my study table. Taking a bottle of liquor out for myself, then passing it on to every occupant in the room. They accept it, but not without a look of protest or a confused glance my way. It does shut them all up, so maybe I've done something good.
Luke, this isn't the time!
Even more when I pop the cork off the bottle and pour its contents on the floor.
Well, what are you simpletons waiting for?
We waste no time dousing the whole room, the smell of alcohol filling the air. If I didn't know any better, I'd say they're more than eager to set this whole place on fire. And the blaze catches easily in this room when I set it alight, using the blasted paper as kindling. With the whole place drenched with wine and all manner of things alcoholic I've been hiding from Hana, the small fire soon turns into an inferno. In a matter of seconds, we're out the door. Thankfully, the door was unlocked. Okay, now we can skip ahead. And we're free. Is there anything new in the epilogue? Those two are still friends. Ah. So that changed a little bit. Just gonna clear this because it bugs me when there's a big red new at the bottom. Luke agreed with Isabella after initial protests. There you go. Things have inevitably become strained between Ashton and Rebecca in the months following her confession, even though she's like, I'm letting you go. And with their lives getting busier, the two have eventually drifted apart. Although neither talks about it and the teacher still strives to forget an old love, it's clear in Rebecca that there are still feelings left she couldn't let go of, despite what she said. If anything, however, this has only made it obvious how much has changed between them, and how much she has clung to the idea of Ashton from their younger days, the one that may not have been there in the first place. Merely an idea for a starry-eyed young girl. But if there will be a time she will be able to accept this, to move on from the hurt and repair an old friendship that has fallen to ruin, only she knows. Alright. Isabella remembers what she has lost. Never truly forgotten what happened, nor what she has lost. And skip. Alright. They're still friends. There we go. Okay. So it looks like we might have unlocked a couple more endings, which is a delight, as always. And now, for the other node, let's burn the letter. I'm getting tired of the screams. I simply have to act fast, think fast, and what else is the root cause of our problems but that letter? No need to make things more complicated. It started from there, why won't it end there? If what Mint has said is true, then there's all the more reason to destroy it. Put an end to this madness before anyone can think of passing it on to someone else. Before the situation can stretch on far too long for my taste, I snatch the blasted paper away.
Give me that.
For a second, she appears offended until I take out Mum's lighter. The sight of it shuts them all up, but I have no need for their opinion. In the next moment, I'm already setting the letter on fire. There we go. Oops. Oop. Stop, stop, stop. Okay, I need to make a save here. I'll do it here just in case. Because I need to look at my branching tree. Actually, I might as well do that now because the epilogue's going to be the exact same thing. Alright. Knowing the letter was the source of this entire fiasco, Luke Wright agreed with Marianne McCullough / Mint and burned the paper. Alright, let's look at... Actually, let's go ahead. There we go. Okay. So, of course, all of these are still the same. But we got Ashton up from 77 to 80, and Luke from 28 to 30. A 2% increase in Luke is actually a pretty good thing, considering how massive his chapter is. Some of the notes, I'm like, why did he want to bite Mary Ann's hand? I still don't understand that at all. Okay, so that was where we... Yeah, man, there's so many locked things. Like this, there's a whole up thing just with the group of people we had. Oh boy, I'm in trouble. Okay, but at least I did this, and there I got whatever that update was. Yay! Yay? Okay, and then we get to the epilogue. Oh, grand. Okay. I'm gonna check the endings thing as well. I don't remember the percentages for that offhand, unfortunately, but I'll see if anything jumps out at me. Hey, Takako. Okay, main menu. Let's just take a quick gander. Oh, I've unlocked a whole bunch of backgrounds. That's good. 65, 45, 88, 75. That was probably... Okay, so we got another... Yeah, we got another Ash and Rebecca variant. That's nice. And what was the other one? Was there another one? Maybe there wasn't. Oh, it was individual good. It'll be Isabella. Okay. Alright, so we got a couple more epilogue endings. I will take that. Oh, this game. The branches, the nodes. Ugh, the horror. Anyway. That was the Zack Dead run, so I hope you guys enjoyed experiencing that with me. That was a long run, much longer than Hana's death ending, and even Bella's. Zack's very important to the story, is what I've learned. So, with that being said, we are done with that, and next time it'll be Marianne's turn to die. I can't imagine there will be a lot that changes with her being out of the picture, but maybe I'll be proven a liar. We'll have to find out. But that's for another time. For now, thanks guys for watching, and until next time, I will see you later.